Hi, this is Mary Kay. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to paint leaves using negative painting. So I was up in Oregon, in Portland last week. I got a lot of leaves. What I'm going to do, I'm going to demonstrate on this card, but I'm going to bring 8 sheets that have different washes over the top. So the first thing you need to do on your own is just take some light colored, fall colored paints and paint over and dry them. I just noticed this little one has missing a point. So the first thing to do is pick out your first leaf. This is going to be the leaf that ends up on top of all the others. We're going to paint the top one and then paint behind it all the rest of the way. So this will be the focal point, and generally the focal point sort of, I would say your eye is going to go to this area here. So what I'm going to do first of all is just place this leaf. I'm going to let this one go off the edge here, and this one I don't want to point straight out the corner, so I need to have my stem in a little different direction. It could actually go off the page too. The stems end up being very strong parts of this painting, so we want to kind of be careful that you don't get them in the wrong spots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace very lightly with a pencil around this leaf. And I've seen YouTube videos of people just painting on the leaf and painting around and getting the painting that way. You just leave this so it ends up being you leave when you do that, then you're using the leaf as a mask, as masking, and you paint around it. But I want to try to teach a very important skill in watercolor, which is negative painting. And I think this is a really great way to teach it. So there's the picture of the leaf that I drew with my pencil. As soon as I paint over a pencil mark, it's going to be there forever. I'm not going to be able to lift it. But for this demonstration, I want you to see what I'm painting. So this is the positive leaf. I'm going to leave this leaf it's going to end up just looking like this, the way it is right now. The very last step, I can go in and put some veins in and some extra brown maybe. What I'm going to do next is just take some, I don't know, fall colors. I'm going to take some bright yellow and I'm going to put some orange in it, or some permanent rose in it, and get it orange. Maybe I'll make it a little lighter orange, like a salmon. And then add a little water to that. I need to pick a spot to start doing this. I can only do about 3 inches at a time. If I do more than that, what happens is it doesn't disappear. So what I'm doing is a disappearing edge. So I paint right along this edge here. About that much. And then I rinse out my brush and I go in with water. And then what I do is blend that all the way out to the edge. So it makes the leaf jump out and then gets lighter as it goes out to the edge. Now I'm going to go over here and do another few inches. Again, I rinse out my brush. I start here, add water, I touch that. See, it's already, this one, I went too far and you see the line is solid. So trying to get it to be darkest right up next to the leaf and then to disappear as it goes out. It adds more water. I'm going to try a little bit oranger down here. Whoops, I didn't go perfectly around that leaf, and it's fine. Rinse it very quickly. Get the water going into it so that it disappears all the way out to the edge. I have this little line. I can go in and I can add a little more if I want to, so long as I get it to disappear all the way out. Okay, I keep going. I can just twist this around. Oh, this is tricky now because I'm right next to the stem. Okay, let's see if I get enough. If I get quickly enough to it. Add a little more, go more on the salmon-y side. Oh, that color. If it's that orange on one side of the stem, it needs to be the same orange on the other side of the stem. I messed up a little bit there. I changed the orange. I'll just add that orange to this side a little bit. See if I can get that to even out. Or maybe put a little red on this side. There we go. So I need it to be the same color on both sides of the stem. Now this one I didn't really make it go disappearing because it's going to the tape. Now here, if I have that orange on this side of this leaf, I need to have the same orange on this side of the leaf. Rinse out my brush, make it disappear. And I got it to blend up to there. So that's painting negative using a disappearing edge. It's such a crucial part of learning to watercolor paint, and that's the first step. What I need to do right now is dry this. I don't think I'm going to be able to edit out the blow dryer, so you'll be able to just skip ahead. Okay, that's the first step. Now you take another leaf and you figure out where you want it to be. Again, I just need to watch these stems. Okay, I think this leaf's going to be on top of this leaf. So I'm going to draw draw around this leaf. But when I get to the first leaf, I stop. So now this leaf is the one I'm going to paint next using this disappearing colors again. You can go a little darker, you can change up your colors. I just added a little bit of burnt sienna to this mixture. So what I'm going to do now is go around. I just made a little mistake there. That's okay too though. Now this one's going right out the edge, so I don't need to do so much of a disappearing edge. It's just kind of fill that in. And then here I need to do a disappearing edge. So I go around that stem and around this, and then I make a disappearing edge around this, and now make this part right here disappear. And then this here doesn't really have a disappearing edge because it's just right here. And same thing here. And now this last one. This right here is going to be a disappearing edge. So I have two leaves now. I have the top one, which is the lightest. I have this one behind, which is a little darker, and then behind that is darker. Down here, I don't need to blow dry that one yet because I'm going to do another leaf behind this one down here at the bottom. I'll just figure out kind of where I want to put it, how I want it to be in my picture. Like that, or do I want it like, how would it fall? No, not there. How would it fall? Kind of like that, maybe? I could go for that. Okay, so it's just gonna be, I'm gonna trace this around the leaf, but not up there. I don't, when I get to the first leaf, I don't draw around it. This one you're not going to see the stem. There's that leaf. So I'm going to paint with a little more paint. I'll start here on this side. I'm going to start and go in here, and then I have to make that edge disappear. Right-handed, so I'm going to flip this around. And then I go around that part of that leaf again, and now I get it to disappear. So I add water, and I get it to just go less and less. Seems pretty dark in there, so I'm did a little one out to that edge. And then I'm going to use that same color on this side of that leaf. And I'm going to get that to disappear out this way. Add a little more here. So I have 3 leaves on here now. I can do lots more, one more, no more. Where would another little one look good? Here, over here, maybe over here, just in here. I'm gonna have to dry it if I do one more leaf. If I just stop, I could just finish up, but I'm gonna dry it. Oh, I have it opening this way. I have to, oh, you know what? I think I'm not gonna add another leaf because I have it opening this way. What I'm going to do now is just do a little top work on this top leaf. I'm going to add a little color to that stem because it's a little darker. See, this is wet. Nope, it's dry, so it's not going to blur. And I'm going to go in with a little bit more of the brown. The stems start from right in that spot and they go out to the tip of these leaves. And so the stem is underneath to here, but here's where the veins go. They all start here and they go out to the tip. If I miss, that's good. Now I'm painting positive. And one of the things I like to do is just put kind of a shadowy color on one side. It's almost like a disappearing edge. So it makes it look almost 3D. And now I'm going to make little veins out to these spots. Where I had put that shadow on the side, it sort of got blurry. I don't really like that. And then there's always these little, you know, dead spots. So I'm just gonna mix up some brown, maybe even a little darker brown. So that's burnt sienna and French ultramarine blue. And I'm gonna just add like a kind of like a dead tip here. And there's some spots here. Maybe some spots there. There's lots of speckles up here. Kind of a dead spot there. There's some light green, so that's yellow and Antwerp. It's more water than that. So maybe just like a few little spots of this here. That's my top leaf. One of the things I want to do is really try to draw my eye right into this area. So I'm going to go back in and do a little bit of negative painting with some darker colors, some darker brown. I'm not going to go too black. This is a kind of a high key painting. But if I put this dark right in here and go ahead with that negative edge, just blend that out to the side. Now my eye is going to that spot more, and I like that. I can do the same thing on the other side of the stem. The other thing I could do is just put a couple really dark, like really make the stem dark right in that spot. Just trying to get my eye to really go to one spot on this painting. I can also just keep doing just a couple little specks of real dark right in there. And your eye will be like, oh yeah, that's the pretty part of that leaf. Maybe over here I have another little dark spot. I like that my eye is now focused right there. Then I think just a few more stems in these other leaves. I don't want to do as much top work on them. Just want to keep them soft. I'm going to darken this corner because that's the bottom of this my painting. I don't want my eye to go out there. And there's my leaf done with negative painting. My leaf card. Thanks for watching.